This week, we go to the big box store and pull out some plywood. Because I had the misfortune of saying that I could, you see something and say, oh, I can make that cheaper and better. This is a project for ourselves. We wanted to do this Grinch type of decoration, and the price is reasonable, except of course it looks bigger and better on Amazon than it actually is. It's just painted plastic and not as big. So we went over to the Etsy store and looked up to see if they had some files, and there's hundreds of them out there. And I'll put some links down below if you're interested. But yeah, there's many, many files out there that you can use to make all different shapes and sizes. So that's when we went off to Home Depot because we didn't have any plywood or enough plywood big enough for the project. So about $350 later, we came home with some plywood. Although, of course, it's not all just for the decorations. I think even just I don't know, not even 1/4 of it was for the decorations. So we're just cutting it down here. I didn't want to spend the time at Home Depot to have it cut down. As you can see, I'm not being very accurate or clean with my cuts because I don't really have to when you're using a laser, because you can leave a 1/4 inch off the edge anyways when you're putting it in the laser. I just have to make sure that it can fit in there. So just to say that our laser bed is about 2 feet by 3 feet. And for that reason, that's why I had to break up the file in two pieces, take his head off essentially, so that I can fit the whole thing in the laser. And I wanted it to be at least 4 feet tall. And so here's the head part. And of course, we have the infamous dog. And for some reason, I didn't check the size of the plywood when I put the dog in there, and it was a bit too short. So I had to do a little bit of fixing. So I'm just making the ear, or sorry, not the ear, but the horn that was attached to his head. A little bit that was missing. I had to copy and paste that and cut it out, and then place it where I needed to put it on the same piece of plywood so I don't waste any more plywood. And that's what I'm just doing here. I'm just making it for orientation wise where I want to cut it. There's a nice little spot there of wood that would otherwise likely be wasted. So just cutting that off and making sure that it's going to be fitting properly as well. And it looks all nicely lined up. Now, when I had this file, of course, the black areas weren't large enough. I would have had to zoom it, make it much larger for those black outlines to be a bit thicker. And of course, they got kind of broken up in the laser. So I had to do a little bit of fixing, but all in all, it wasn't a huge difficulty. Outcome probably wouldn't be something that I would want to give to somebody or sell to somebody, but for ourselves, I don't mind that there's a little bit of errors in the file. If I were to make this more often, I'd have to make sure I make the outlines thicker so they don't break apart like they did here. So right now I'm just sort of breaking it all up, sort of laying them out so that all the different colors on each cardboard, so that I don't mix them up. And of course, primed them all, and then we're going to be painting them all. Of course, it won't be too long that I realize that I actually did mix up some colors, so I'll have to do some fixing down the line. I didn't take enough time to really make sure that the colors for each piece were on the right plywood or on the right cardboard for putting it in the spray booth here. And I did paint the edges of the back piece, a little bit of black on the edge, so that if the outline is not perfectly aligned, it won't show the the brown wood underneath there. So primed it, sanded down a bit, and then we use some paint here to give it all the colors. So I love all these different colors. The green, it was like a neon green, really came out quite well. And I liked the color of the dog. We actually had this color, and it came out pretty cool. I tried to do some sort of airbrushing type of technique there. Not the best, but I'm kind of satisfied with how it came out. And then the fun part is the glue up. Using some glue here, the B set. I'm using sort of a combination of glues. I do like to use the CA glue so that it acts like a clamp to hold things down quickly, and we can move along and finish these things pretty quickly. Usually, as I mentioned, I found out that I made some mistakes. I tried to fix it, which made even worse problems. and it was already glued in. As you can see, the nose and the face ended up getting all blotched up. So I made a little cutout so that I can mask the areas that I don't want to repaint. And here we have it all in place with some paper to cover all the rest and using paint cans as a weight. At that piece too, I had it white instead of being green, so I had to repaint it. When I tried to repaint it and glue it in fast, of course, it ended up splitting. Didn't hold too well, so I had to make sure that I redo that. That looks terrible. But let's give it a go. I'm giving it another coat here, or I think I did 2 or 3 coats to try and fix that problem, letting it dry. But you'll see in a minute. It's not too bad actually. I think I give it a pass anyways. Once again, it's not something I certainly would not feel comfortable selling it to somebody, but as you can see, it looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to make sure that I get the head attached a little bit stronger here. So I found some scrap wood and put it over top and glue that in. Here I'm using some new glue that I purchased in Ottawa. There's a store called Casarama, and their glue and their supplies are sometimes quite a bit cheaper. And giving it a try in this project, and I really like it. The Demsung glue there, and it seems to be working quite well. For the back, for the attachments, I'm just using these picture hangers, and what I'm going to do is just be able to put the uh, sort of the zip ties through it and tie it up onto the railing and make it really quite easy. I just realized there that I had the Grinch on the wrong angle, so I fixed that and then attached the dog, hang the lights into his hands, and we'll plug it in and see what it looks like. So not too bad. We still have our pumpkins out there we have to clean up, but all in all, it came out to be pretty cool, kind of how we envisioned it. Maybe I would have liked to have made it a bit bigger yet to really pop out, but I think once the snow is on the ground, there'll be less distractions. Hopefully, we get some snow soon. Once the snow is down, it's not going to be as busy looking, and I think the Grinch and the dog will pop out quite a bit better with the snow. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and it's a quick one. We just had to do some project for this week for ourselves, and I hope you do come back for the next ones as I try to do some more of that artwork stuff that I've done in previous videos. Take care.